Hello, everybody, and welcome
Hey!
to Tales Does Tales, where we here at Tales of Initiative play through Tales from the Yawning Portal with an eldritch twist. Due to a little bit of scheduling complications in my life, sorry for the last minute wrinkle and chaos, but isn't that just the Cthulhuousness of all? We're starting a little bit early today, and our session will run a little bit shorter today, so in that effort, I want to make things quick. Check out those links in Nightbot, because we've got some amazing sponsors that help us tell amazing stories, so go support them. Uh, and with the quickest top of the show announcements ever, are we ready to dive in?
Ooh, I guess.
Wow!
I'm
Yes.
unprepared.
No delays.
Apparently.
Immediate drama.
No plan, just go.
No plan, go.
Drop.
Oh, yes, I'm ready, I'm ready.
When last we told our tale, Calcryx, the fabled white dragon wormling whom Meepo was searching for, has been found. But not before exacting a terrible toll on the group, freezing Meepo on sight and biting off the frozen kobold's head in a storm of anger. The group moved to engage after a failed, rat-based parley, the language barrier proving too onerous an obstacle to stymie the Calcryx's rage. Don't do possessors with that name. Dragon names are impossible. Combat ensued, and we left off last time with Wynvyre, the diseased but still very capable ranger, landing the potentially fatal blow. Is Calcryx's story over? I hate me from 20 minutes ago when I wrote these. Is her story over? We'll find out this time on Tales Does Tales. It would be her turn in combat, so I'm just going to roll a d20 on my end. And after that, it's going to be Saoirse's turn. How are y'all responding? Calcryx has taken an arrow straight deep into her internal organs and is now lying like flat, heavy on the ground. The blood is like pooling on the stonework of this old dungeon and is starting to like crystallize and frost as it hits the ground. What do you do?
If you turn around, you see just the top half of Winnie's face. You see these like big glasses that sit over it and a little antenna that are just poking out. Like, did I get her?
Yes, darling. She's
Yeah.
been got.
Good job. Good show. What do we do now?
I'm unsure.
We kind of came. I'm assuming we came here for the dragon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but Meepo is now gone, so I don't.
Do our plans change?
I don't really know.
Do we need to?
I kind of
Return
think we
the
need to
dragon?
do something.
My assumption working is that we needed the dragon to be alive.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
That was.
I mean, I'm currently sitting on it, and I can tell you guys that it did not looking good. So,
Can you fix that? Can we restrain it? Is the dragon small enough to be restrained?
I mean, I'm fairly sure it's dead, isn't it?
But if we heal it, it'll stabilize, right?
Yeah, it should.
I think I'm
You
a
roll
spider
a-
right now.
I don't
so
have
should
any
not be
healing. I don't
talking.
have anything. I got nothing. I'm sorry.
I have some healing. I can stabilize them. Can I? Can I do spare the dying on the dragon?
Mhm.
Just to give us a little bit of leeway. Time to figure out what the fuck.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So you reach out, and what does your spare the dying look like? What does this magic look like as you touch Calcryx?
It's very gentle. This spell particularly is very gentle, and it's like a little neon. It's like bright, and it just kind of sinks between the like space between her scales, and
That
she just kind of calmly stabilizes.
that massive patch of scales that had kind of like fallen off and been replaced by fungus between the inflict wounds and like some of Saoirse's magic, it kind of the blood starts to like crystallize, and you can see like ice starting to poke up and the mushrooms turning white there. Your magic like pulses in, and you can hear like one ragged breath, like, and like one of the claws twitches. She is still breathing. She is stable.
Okay.
Well, that's something.
Do I get off?
I think stay there. I mean, she's not going
Great.
to. She's not going to wake up, but
Does this dragon look movable?
She is heavy, but she is technically just a medium creature.
Okay.
So
I mean, I can carry her.
Should we get her away from the goblins?
I think that's probably the best idea. Shall we take her? What do you think about taking her back to the room with all of the other dragon nonsense? Does that make sense?
That's what I was thinking.
All right. Well, I mean, we're going to have to go slow, because she is rather heavy. So.
Can
I'm happy to do that if
Saoirse
anybody
help?
thinks
And
it's okay.
Winnie points at the giant spider.
Yes, that would be much appreciated.
I web.
I'm a bit
web
smaller, but
Calcryx up.
where? Yes.
you web up Calcryx?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you webbing and like binding claws and together and making it so she can't move if she were to wake up?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
Yeah.
gonna shimmy her onto my back.
Okay. Even at your size, because I think giant spiders are still just medium. Even at your size, there's no way that you can like just hold her on your back. This is definitely a team lift / drag exercise. She weighs just over 700 pounds. And is,
well,
yeah.
yes. If
Dance.
you,
Were any of those cots in the
No,
other
no, it is-
room that we could put her on and drag her? I mean, it's
That's
not
a good
quiet,
point.
but
I
not
mean, we can. Yes, absolutely.
better than the ground.
I'm happy. Better than the ground. I'm happy to like harness in if we put one on Saoirse and one on me, and then we can pull her if that makes any sense. Kind of like sled dogs.
yeah.
Yes, darling.
And spiders.
Just doing spider things.
Just doing spider things.
Yeah, you could totally do that. So you go
Alright.
you
Winnie-
go back into that room with the goblin.
Yeah, and I'm like, I already pulled the thingy out. Didn't I know it was an action to do so? So I'll kick this little bit of wood that we put to block the door in, and I'll see if there's a bed that looks like we could get most of Calcryx's body on.
Yeah, like you could kind of double up on some of these. Like they're half like cots, half hammocks, kind of. They're more just like stretches of leather.
Yeah.
So it's easy enough to kind of bundle those up and make an impromptu sled out of that.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going okay. And she's just gonna close the door back on him. She just kicks the bit of wood like underneath the door a little bit again. It's probably not put there properly, but like as in it's just like, yep.
You hear like a muffled "good chat" from the other side of the door.
Let's
All right.
try and
Let's bundle up this dragon, I suppose.
yes.
And then
Is all
you
of,
can totally make a
Meepo stuff frozen?
Meepo's body is encased in ice. If you'd like to, like, it's started to thaw. Like, it's not like he's not like in an iceberg.
Mhm.
He's reasonably. It's more like a shell of ice, like when your car is frozen after a snowstorm.
Winnie
So
wants
you-
to grab the bag of caltrops that he's been collecting for us.
Oh, 100%. You grab his little caltrop bag.
Good lord.
Is there anything else you're doing in this room before you go about Calcryx business?
Is there anything interesting in it?
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
18.
18. Easy enough. There, you notice that Calcryx, in classic dragon behavior, has kind of created her own little mini hoard in here, and has been like scooping up all of the valuables into a pile, like buried behind one of these overturned tables. Looking through it, you see one of those jade figurines that actually like reminds you that Meepo picked up one of those before you left on the to go to this area. And looking around, you actually see that like his frozen half is like holding out that jade figurine as like an offering, but it's like just like stuck in that icy blast mid action. So you see one of those. You see a crystal goblet and 24 pieces of fine silverware. You also see a scroll case carved of bone, and it has an inscription on it.
Interesting.
Can I read it?
What languages do you speak?
I speak Druidic, Elvish, Primordial, and Sylvan.
Okay, you do not
And
know
whatever
what it
spiders
says.
speak.
And whatever spiders speak. Nah, you do not recognize these runes.
I bring it over to everybody. The frustrated spider.
I really need to write this down in my notes. What languages do y'all speak? Fia.
Elvish and Undercommon.
Okay. Daja
Celestial, Common, and Infernal.
and Winnie.
Celestial, Common, Giant, Goblin, Primordial, and Sylvan.
So many, but none of them the one that this is written in. You do not recognize the runes. You do recognize like some of the lettering as the same alphabet that Primordial would use, which makes you think this might be Dwarven, but you're not able to read any of it.
No idea, sorry.
No. Not me.
Daja, you get an odd sense, like one of those weird like sixth sense moments of like danger anticipation coming from this scroll. Scroll case, I should say.
Well, this seems to be rather dangerous, and I don't know if it's safer to take it with us or leave it here. I don't really want anyone else to get it. So
I will web it up and carry it on my back like a child.
all right then.
Safe.
You got it. Safe.
You know how spider babies are. Like they like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of shit in my spider fur that whenever I turn back is all just gonna be like
Yeah, it's just slough off. Yeah.
It's all just knotted into your hair, like.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, what is this?
Which direction are you taking Calcryx? And so you've got your little like dragging cot set up. Where are you moving her and how?
Now, you said
My-
that the floor would reset at some point. Did that happen
Yes.
over that time?
The floor did reset over that time. Yes.
Okay.
So I've left the trapdoor there for you to visualize where it is, but it is still there. You do know that like any amount of pressure on not that little catwalk is going to re-trigger it,
Yep.
unless you do some work to try and wedge that lid shut.
All right.
Should we try taking it through the hallway and then through the storage room?
Yes.
I mean, I'm going off you guys. I don't exactly know where we are, so
I'm unsure. I'm doing my best.
Who
not
unlocked the
entirely
other
sure either.
door? Oh.
oh,
No one to your knowledge. Oh yeah, Saoirse unlocked the door that you did unlock to get in here.
No one that we know.
No, what is this? This is a stone door as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
No kicking.
Well, you mean the one to the south out of this room?
Yes.
That one is not stone, but it is that same like well-made wood with iron bands.
Yeah.
still give it a go. If you want to go that way.
Yeah, I can't get that door open, and Saoirse's the only one that. Well, I mean, can any of you guys unlock this door?
I mean, by force?
Sure.
Try.
Can I?
Yeah.
Would it be possible
Oh.
to like maybe trigger the floor thing and like web it so that it can't do the bad things?
You would have to like, that would take a lot of web to like gunk it up well enough.
Okay.
You could try and do a dex check just as a spider. You still got your mental faculties, you know like how to interact with stuff.
Yeah. It's just a new room that we haven't gone through to the south there, so
No, we've been in there.
You've been
It's
in that
the
room.
misty room, the misty hallway, the smoky hallway.
yeah. We
Hmm,
didn't go
yes.
into it though. It's-
Yes, you did look in and then not. And
we
then
looked
back out.
in.
Yes.
We didn't go in.
Yes.
Scary new rooms.
Mildly terrifying, but all right.
You don't want to explore
Matt's
new
our
places
DM.
with a dragon in tow? Oh come on.
That's
No, Matt, we're justifiably terrified of you.
It's not like I've killed any of you.
Would
Yes.
Winnie be able to have a
Untrue.
look at this trap door and see if there's a way that she's able to jam it?
Sure. Give me a dexterity check.
That's not a.
Can I help?
Sure.
16. Oh,
Yeah, you roll again just in case.
no. 16.
16. That is you find
No.
another one of those like it's very similar to like how you jammed up the door. You basically wait for like the doors to come back up on either side and you just like kind of stick a little bit of like wedged rock in there
Mhm.
to where it's like grinding and like you have
I have my wings going, and then I put my
yeah.
feet on it. And I
Yep.
see.
and you could feel it like a little bit, but then it stops to move, and so you feel like it's properly affixed now.
Yes. But quickly.
All right.
okay.
Where would y'all like to take her? Because I'm not gonna have y'all like narrate the passing. You don't have to worry about backtracking through most of these rooms. What are you doing, if anything, with Meepo?
Daja is intentionally not looking at Meepo. Like, Daja is just, like, doing their best to just be like, okay, that's sad, and I have to keep going.
Saoirse, did you grab the extra jade figurine that's in Meepo's hands?
Hmm.
So in spider form, you just sort of crunch it off of his open palm.
His 2 fingers come with it. Like,
Yeah, there's a little
No!
bit of unfortunate separation there.
Collecting
Brutal.
figures.
oops.
It's fine. I figured we might need a hand with Calcryx. You're welcome.
Horrifying. How dare you?
Amazing.
How dare.
Lovely.
So yeah, where are you taking Calcryx?
Back to the dragon cage.
Yeah.
Oh, back to where you originally found Meepo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I assume you're picking up the caltrops as you pass through that room on
Yes.
the way.
I add them
Yeah.
to the
Because of-
bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That does take some time. Are you doing anything in terms of exploring any of these other rooms as you pass them? Are you just leaving that goblin in that northern room, and are you exploring that other locked door that's in the armory at all?
No, there was a lot of noise coming from that door.
Yes, you did hear whispered voices behind that door.
I would say no.
Yeah, I think Dai is pretty mission oriented right now.
Mm-hmm.
He is predominantly confused about everything and hasn't actually seen what's this way, so doesn't know what's behind those doors and is just kind of going with the flow.
Yep.
Fair. Fair and valid.
Daisha just wants to trade the dragon for Winnie's life, and then let the dragon loose on the kobold.
On the
City.
kobolds. Let's see here.
Sick of it.
Caltrix sick 'em.
Get him!
So, Winnie, you have a total of 200 caltrops.
Hey,
There are a bunch of caltrops
Thank
on those
you.
floors.
that's awesome.
So yeah, you are able to eventually drag Calcryx back through all of those rooms. I don't know if you want to zoom out on the map, but like back through this trapped hallway, past the room, as you're making sort of like the dragging noises, and like her wing like butts up against the door. Hey, are y'all just gonna leave me? Like, what's happening out there?
Busy, sorry.
I mean, well, explain why we're married to the whole idea of the, weird sorcerer dude taking the dragon. Like,
I'm not entirely sure, really. The entirety of my thought process has been, Meepo died. I am sad, and we should take the dragon back to the dragon room because something weird might happen.
We don't want the goblins to have
Would
it.
explain.
We don't
But I
want the
cannot.
goblins to have it.
We don't want anyone to have it,
Alright.
really.
yeah, that's kind of my point.
But this is as far as we can get with it, probably, right?
Because
Think
Winnie is
so?
sick.
Right? Yeah. No. Yeah. Sarah's right. Never mind. The table. in
I'm
question.
sick?
Keep going.
No.
What?
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 Blood. Black blood.
Black
Absurd.
blood.
Oh no.
Who? We can let the dragon go afterwards. Who?
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Taking it back all the way to the kobold area, correct?
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna start helping y'all move your tokens about.
Yeah, get us back there because it's going to take us years.
It's a long
Yes,
journey.
buddy.
Yeah, I'm trying to move y'all so that you go through as few spoiler walls as possible.
Perfect.
I was playing around with Foundry when I was first like figuring out the lighting tools, and I quickly figured out that if you drag, like, I'll just move this token over to here, and like if you pass through a room, it's just like, by the way, this is the room you're magically floating through, and it just shows you everything.
We won't look.
No.
I'm
We
almost
will
there.
look, I
Try.
promise.
No.
We will absolutely look, but we'll tell you we haven't.
I'm there.
Perfect. But this is this the right section anyway? Oh yes, it goes further down.
Whoop! Yeah,
Yeah.
way down to there, and then further down that hallway. Winnie, I'll let you. You're close enough. I'll go back and help Fia and Daja get that way.
Oh yes, I remember this room now.
Yes, so you pass back through the goblin practice range, back through the caltrop hallway where you first entered into goblin territory, and that multi-episode fight began. Through the empty-ish room where the door was trapped with a bell, to alert them to your presence. Past the, not going directly past, but just there are the cells where the rats are, or were before you murdered them. Justifiably, they were trying to
I
kill
think
you.
murdered is a
Murdered
little
a
harsh.
strong
Murdered is
word.
a strong word.
We,
Past
we acted in self-defense.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly right. Protected ourselves.
Yeah.
past
Hmm.
the
Unfortunately, they died. But they should have been stronger.
Exterminate.
exterminate. Past the dragon fountain,
Exterminate.
where you got the fire breathing potion
Mhm.
that allowed Meepo to have a glorious life and attain things that kobolds normally just dream of.
Dude, at least, like, rest in peace, Meepo, but he got to be, like, a real dragon and a real adventurer for, like, a little bit there.
He had some cool moments on the way out, man. He burned bright.
At least he wasn't just sobbing in a corner anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. We changed his
Exactly.
life.
We did. And then quickly allowed it to end.
Yes.
Hey, we gave him
Oop.
his dreams.
Would Winnie be able to remember
brief.
which room Meepo said his leader was going to be in? What was
It's
her
that
name again?
Top left one, Yusdrayl.
Yusdrayl. Yeah, top
Good
left one.
note keeping. So yeah,
I
are you
take
taking Calcryx all the way? Like, are you leaving Calcryx in this cage room, or are you dragging her with you as you go towards the rest of the kobolds, or you assume the rest of the kobolds to be, I should say.
Maybe don't let her at our sight for now.
That's yes, I think that's best at the minute.
Yeah.
So as you are dragging Calcryx into this room, you see once again this large fire pit filled with like various bits of charred armor and bone. What looks sort of like half campfire, half funeral pyre that's just sort of burned low and still slightly smolders. You see that table with the green cloth upon which are set more of those jade figurines and little paint brushes and things of ornamental nature. And then that cage at the far south of the room where some of the bars are bent and destroyed, and where you imagine Calcryx has spent a lot of time. And as you enter this room, you notice that there are two kobolds in here.
Damn it.
They're just sort of patrolling around, and I'll move Winnie back up to here.
Thank
as
you.
are.
Don't make me get too close to anyone.
Yes.
Hide
The
Winnie
kobolds
behind
magically
the
appear within
Hide.
5 feet of Winnie. They have packed up.
God.
The kobolds both like turn and regard the group like, "It's got safety. Who are you?
Who are you?
We're guards.
Of what? Of the fire
A
pit?
room. Where'd Meepo go? You killed Meepo." And then they
Well-
both notice the dragon and both go incredibly like quiet, eyes big, and are like now extraordinarily confused as to what is happening.
Can I do a deception check to control my emotion about Meepo dying?
Oh yes.
Not to fully fuck with the group, but I feel like that's correct.
We got.
Ooh, I have a -1. Sorry, guys.
Hey, you can roll high. There's lots of numbers on that dice.
We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be great. There's 20 whole numbers, and I got a 9, so like it's solid. It's
Yeah.
fine.
There's you not. I'm not gonna say you break down weeping, but like it pangs and it's visible to the group that it hits a mark.
Like one single tear starts running down Daya's face.
Okay. All right.
We
so,
Calcryx back for Meepo.
yeah, we killed some goblin dudes.
I got an arm, and Winnie holds up the goblin arm.
Yep, you do totally have that arm. Yeah.
Got the
The
goblins.
kobolds are just like, just like they quick talk between each other in Draconic, and then look back to you. What you want?
To get
I
out of
mean-
here, mainly.
That way out, and they just point towards that the door that you came in. that
Actually,
leads
it's
east.
It's rather more
only
complicated than that, but thank you.
further in. Also, you know this Yusdrayl chick? Is she any good at like spells and stuff? I guess.
Yusdrayl magic. Yusdrayl knows the old words.
So, like hypothetically, that's a rather big word, but it doesn't matter. If we knew someone who was pretty sick, could Yusdrayl kind of help with that?
They both like look between each other and then look back. Yusdrayl knows many things.
Okay,
That
does
didn't
she
answer my
know
question.
the healing things? If you get hurt, does Yusdrayl help you? If you get a boo-boo,
Uh, yes, but well, she make sure we all have food.
okay, so not healing. Good to know.
Right. Right.
They look sort of confused, and the one that's like not doing most of the talking is just like, Yusdrayl knows.
Oh, I'm sure, darling.
And there's keys, right? Like,
Can-
there's a key because we have to get someone who came here before us and then bring them home, kind of like a recovery mission, right? Like
That's
sort
what
of
we
what
were
we did with Calcryx.
doing.
It's what we're paid for, right? So we rescued
Yes.
Calcryx for you guys, and now we have to do it for somebody else. So we were kind of hoping Yusdrayl might, out of the goodness of, instead of giving us a reward for bringing Calcryx back, because we don't want to be taking anything from you guys, right? Like we just want to
Naturally.
give back to you. But maybe Yusdrayl could let us, pass through safely.
Or indeed help us to our goal.
You follow. Bring Calcryx. Talk to Yusdrayl.
Okay, cool. Let's do
Oh,
that.
great.
They're both looking very uncertain, but
Can-
as one like starts to walk off to the west, through this door, and like waves you to follow. The other one like stays, clearly like taking sort of a rear guard, like follow behind you position.
Can
They're both looking uncertain, but not aggressive.
Can Winnie
Cool,
see
that's
if
cool.
when they were talking about all those bits and pieces, whether or not it was them not wanting to share information, like as in they're trying to be like, shh, it's a secret sort of thing, or if it was just them being like, well, we don't know.
Give me an insight check, yeah.
I will also insight check
Ooh,
them.
22.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
I would also like to well, I guess it's fine. You've got it.
I'll let you know. I
Unfortunately,
whisper over.
What's
I got a
Saoirse get?
14, so yours is going to be
20.
better.
20. All of you recognize that like there's a little bit of posturing here. Like they want to look like they know and are answering these questions well, but you get the sense that magic probably escapes them in terms of like what is the difference between like healing versus what we've seen Yusdrayl do. Like there's confusion there, and so they're just leaving it in the ambiguity zone of answers, and trying to look like they know what's going on.
All right.
But you are able. Do you proceed towards? Are you following along?
I
think so.
suppose.
You do hear as that kobold like leads the way. And do you do anything about that kobold that's behind you? Are you okay with them sort of like doing a flanking guard?
Keeping an eye on him.
Yeah.
I'm in the
I'm
center
not comfortable
of the
with it.
group.
I'm not happy about it.
I'll say that rolling your 14 insight over, and obviously Winnie and Saoirse, you also notice this. He's doing like his job, but there's clearly anxiety about like they just walked in with Calcryx unconscious, like what is happening, and he's sort of giving y'all a good distance. Like
He's scared of
there.
us as well.
No one could say he's not guarding you and escorting you, but he's definitely ready to bolt if this goes sideways. As they proceed in, you hear the lead kobold sort of going, "Kaskaken! Kaskaken!" And as you're going through, you're seeing more and more kobolds that are just on the fringes of like hidden behind walls, and like you can see that they do like actual patrol routes, and they have like guard positions. If you'd like to move yourselves through the map, um,
Hallway or the door?
going down that hallway. Yep, exactly where Winnie went, and then north through that hallway.
Winnie
I'll
is
move
staying
Calcryx along with you.
so close to Saoirse.
You could be on top of me. It's fine. Spiders can carry like those big things. I don't know.
Big things.
Ebo needed to.
Spider, big, strong.
Haley, can you switch us over to the map?
Oh
just
yes,
so
of
people can see what's going on?
course. Sorry.
That's okay. We're in the wibbly wobbly of roleplay versus dungeon crawling. So, this is directly west of that main room where you originally found Meepo and the broken cage of Calcryx, and you can see these kobolds that are on here that have little insignia on them, this little like arrow buff on them. You're getting into an area where the kobolds they're looking like they actually hit the gym. Like these kobolds have been doing some P90X and are looking pretty yoked and ready to get in a tussle. They're still just kobolds, right at the end of
Are
the
they
day, but they're
swobolds?
They're not quite swobolds. There's literally a stat block called a swobold that one day I will
Really?
get to use. Yes, it's amazing.
What?
But they are not quite swobolds. They're swobolds in training. They're a little bit more veteran, and you can hear that kobold still doing that little bark word in Draconic, and as he's doing that, you're seeing the guards like sort of tense and like look and then relax and then re-tense when they notice that you are dragging Calcryx into this area. Let me get you some flavor text for this hallway.
Can all of my spider first stand up on end all intimidating like?
Yeah, you're bristling. You're looking big.
Yeah, I would like to stand as like big and square as I possibly can.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
As you walk down, you notice that this double row of relief-carved marble columns march the length of this long, large hall. There are worn carvings, again, of entwining dragons on all of these columns as you walk. And as you proceed forward towards the end, following this kobold, all of these littler kobolds, or well, the swobolds in training, are sort of like falling in step behind you and like escorting you up towards the end of the hall.
That's not
We're
concerning.
getting a crowd.
I don't enjoy that.
Being the center of attention.
So I'll just swoop you forward. Swoop. Swoop.
Swoop?
Many swoopings.
Are we swooping?
Swooping?
We're
Are you
swooping in.
swooping?
Swoop it?
Go away, swooping.
Swooping?
Oh no, R. Kelly's stuck in my head. That's
That's terrible.
That's no
Damn
good.
it.
Yeah.
damn
You're all
it. Just
sort
the
of-
context makes it
dude.
bad.
You are all sort of brought in here, and you're seeing multiple doors leading both in and out of this long hallway. And as you get to the end, you start to see a couple figures. There is a stone throne at the very end of the hall in front of a large ceremonial-looking table. A short throne stands near the west wall, constructed of fallen bits of masonry stacked against an old altar. On the top of the altar sit a variety of small items. The portion of the altar that serves as the throne's back features a carved relief of a rearing dragon. And in the jaws of that rearing dragon, there is a metallic key. And I will also say that, let me show y'all some art here to go along with this, that this is a view of both the throne and the person sitting on the throne.
I'm ready.
Ooh.
Ooh. Wait, let me.
So you can
I
see
like
in
it.
these sort of tattered, but still, for purposes of in this context, regal looking robes adorn this red kobold whose eyes are glittering as she takes in the sight of you dragging Calcryx here. There's this very large ring on one of her fingers, and you can see that dragon carved relief mouth with the key in its teeth just above her head. You also see standing next to her one of those swobolds in training, and then you also see a rather intimidating looking kobold with a very large spear that looks like it has like a dragon tooth mounted to the end of it, and a pretty imposing shield as well. Let me get you that artwork.
All right then. Ooh.
Ooh.
So you
Aren't
see
you the
that dude.
smallest little angry fellow?
Yes. He's not quite that
Adorable.
angry looking at the moment, but
Oh, that's good.
he is
That's
sort of
okay.
matching your like look square, chest puffed attitude, and is to the figure on the throne's right. Figure on the throne being who you would imagine is Yusdrayl.
So then, likely that is Dern? No? Ballsag.
Ballsag.
You would know that Balsag and Dern are goblins, not kobolds.
Thank you, yes.
Forgot about Ballsag.
Balsag.
I know! How could you forget about Ballsag?
In
I
this
don't
accent,
know.
it really doesn't sound good.
It does not.
It's
It does
rough
not.
as loud.
Any accent
Ballsag.
reference.
I'm sure it looks better in writing, but
It
It
doesn't.
don't look better in reality.
Yeah.
Gravity has
No, it
taken its
didn't.
toll.
Not all that is going.
The
DM, could
the
we,
kobold-
like vibe
yeah.
check the room. Just
Oh,
roll
yeah,
it.
give me an insight check.
in general.
Vibe check. Yeah, give me an insight
Vibe
check.
check.
I love it. I love that audio.
So spider passive perception is 15. Just to-
Okay. You
Uh,
notice that this one kobold guard sort of moves to that southern hallway that looks like it might exit and like wrap back around these like central rooms. But it is sort of attempting to be imposing and kind of block up that hallway. So if you were to make a hasty escape that way, it could intercept.
Adorable.
Who's doing the insight? Fia?
I can do an insight.
I'm still on character point with my rolls. She got a 1. And that
Got a
is
1. Hey, you know what? This is the friendliest place you've ever been. They love you here.
Beautiful.
I got a 15.
15, there's not animosity. It's more of like tense curiosity.
All right.
Everyone is having a moment processing the fact that you've brought Calcryx here, clearly heavily injured and but alive. Like her rib cage is moving up and down. Like it's very obvious that she is breathing and like she's occasionally like flexing her claws. Although even though they are bound in that spider silk, so
Just
it's- she's
remember.
alive.
Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well,
Remembering
I'm glad
back,
we got it
remembering back, did Meepo tell anyone that Calcryx had gone missing?
Yes, they knew.
Okay,
They knew that Calcryx
okay,
had gone
okay.
missing. Yes.
All right.
For a
Good.
second there, I was like, wait a second, does it look like we kidnapped Calcryx?
You walked in, kidnapped, beat up Calcryx, and are now ransoming her back. No.
Oz now,
Yes.
give us money.
No, that was part of
Yeah.
Meepo's whole
Remember.
problem was that Calcryx being taken had put his reputation in the gutter.
Yes, yes, yes,
basically,
yes,
as he
yes,
failed
right.
in
Yep,
guarding her.
Yep.
How long has it been since we were in the room with the dragon, in the dragon room on the goblin side?
Calcryx is a heavy girl. She's thick. So it's taken probably like 30, 40 minutes to drag her back through all these places.
Dope. Gotcha.
The more imposing kobold kind of steps forward and like briefly whispers with Yusdrayl, and then steps forward. Who comes here into the throne room of Yusdrayl?
Throne room. We noticed you lost something, and we're under the employ of someone who's looking for somebody else, and we needed a key to get in the door. Found your lost deity, I guess, and brought her back. So
I'll say with the insight check from before, Daja, you notice Yusdrayl visibly tense with mention of a key. It's gone as quick as it came, but there is a moment of like,
Interesting.
what do you desire for bringing back Calcryx, our favored pet?
I mean, we could use a bit of advice and maybe the use of the key to get further on, but we don't necessarily need to keep it.
I spider squirm under Winnie.
Yusdrayl
There
now
is-
leans forward and sort of temples her fingers.
Why do you need the key?
As I said, we're under the employ to fetch someone, and they seem to have gotten further than this floor. So in order to maintain our contract, as you see from Calcryx being here, we don't exactly scrimp away from not finishing a job. So that's why
Do
we
you
want the key.
mean this key?
That's the only key I can see, so yeah.
I
Sure.
have many keys, for I am the master of this hallway.
Woo?
You sound like a master for sure.
Do not insult the queen.
That
These
was
are
not an
her
insult, but
halls.
got it.
Why do you need
Anybody
a
else wanna
key
get in
to a
on this?
place that no one is capable of going?
Well,
Listen, every time I talk,
clearly-
it gets us into further shit, so I'm going to let you
great,
do
thanks.
this.
Clearly, people can get in if we've been sent in to get someone, so unfortunately, you are incorrect.
You are the one who is incorrect, as no one
Why
has
don't you
entered
open
the
the
southern
door
halls
and
of
prove it?
glorious dragonhood in some time. Ooh.
Glorious?
Yes, the glorious halls.
How do you spell that?
I hate everything. Actively losing my mind.
The remnants
is-
of Ashardalon reign supreme in the southern halls. Not all are allowed to go there.
Okay.
But some are allowed?
Only those with the true heart of a dragon and the key, which is in my possession.
So I'm assuming you can get in there, Yusdrayl.
Yeah, I can.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How come you couldn't get back Calcryx then?
Calcryx was not in those halls.
Oh, but surely having the heart of a dragon takes more than just getting Calcryx back off a couple of stupid goblins, right? I mean, you sit on a throne. I'm just not convinced. Maybe we came to the wrong place with this dragon, you know?
She is
Don't like
ours.
wasting my
There
time.
was that hallway back
That's true. There's options.
there that seemed to be quite promising, perhaps.
Hmm.
She is ours, and
Not
you
limited.
will not spoil the good graces in which you have arrived by bringing her.
I'm so sorry, Yusdrayl, but if there were good graces, perhaps you'd actually be fulfilling something.
This
Wow.
kobold sort of growls and steps forward.
You will mind your tongue in these halls.
Bro, I've had a day, okay? I've had a day, and currently you're standing between me and a small dragon person that is claiming to rule this place but won't actually give me anything or show me any power, and there is a gigantic dragon beast next to me that I could wake up with the touch of my hand. And what? I'm trying to get
seek
somewhere.
the key
You want something?
without
Arrangement?
demonstrating. You seek the key without demonstrating that you know what it does. Those halls are not for anyone.
Why does that matter? We're offering your
Everyone.
dragon for the key. Sorry, you do. I'm being
No
quiet.
outsiders have entered there.
Then maybe
If
that's
you
not where
seek
we're
someone
going.
else.
What'd you say, Winnie?
Maybe that's not where we're going. She kind of just says it to the group.
Maybe.
If you seek someone who is an outsider, they would have gone north.
North. Okay. Have you a map?
Inside or
That
that's surrounding?
door.
And she points like to the far end of the hallway where you first came in. I will put my little cursor over it towards the door that she's gesturing to. It might be hidden in darkness, depending on dark vision.
Yes. Oh,
that
yes, there it
door
is.
leads towards the goblins, which you have clearly already engaged in combat. Else you would not be bringing Calcryx back here.
Yes.
Those
I'm
are the
absolutely
front
furious.
doors, which I also have keys to.
Okay, so can you give us the keys to get where we need to go? Not necessarily the keys you need to keep.
I will allow you travel in and out of our territories peacefully,
Thank you.
and I can unlock those doors should you want to.
I appreciate that, Yusdrayl. That is quite benevolent of you. Um, in terms of my friend here, there seem to be some diseases running rampant in these halls. Would you have any advice on dealing with those?
Might I inspect?
Winnie
I like
Sure.
trundle forward with Winnie on my back.
and Winnie like kind of goes to stands on the front of Sesh's body and lifts her shirt to where the rat bite is.
I am ready for shit to go down.
Yes, this looks rather bad. You will
Does.
not survive very much longer without proper treatment.
It hurts.
And what would that proper treatment be?
She looks to the side and says some words in Draconic to the more aggressive looking kobold. He kind of like scrunches his face.
This guy. You why you are?
Sort of grumbles back to the altar that is behind her, this large table upon which there are spread out several items. And he picks up this small flask and brings it forward.
As payment for bringing us back our most treasured pet, you may have this and one additional piece from the table behind me.
Gotta have a look.
Mm-hmm. You can make an Arcana check if you'd like to.
I will help with that as well.
Okay.
I would love to help with that as well.
Just one help. One Arcana check
Okay.
at advantage.
No,
A
triple
dirty
advantage.
Triple
20.
advantage. Dirty 20.
Hey.
So you sort of like unstopper the flask and just like do a little quick like taste of what's in there.
I shouldn't do this.
Immediately you start to feel like this sort of minty, sort of, oh, I'm forgetting like a decongestion rub, like a Vapovix kind of hyper mint
Eucalyptus.
feel. And it's like, this is clearly an elixir of health. And based on the size of this flask, there is more than one dose. And mechanically, what elixirs of health do is when you drink this potion, it removes the blinded, deafened, paralyzed, and poisoned conditions, or it cures any disease afflicting you.
Oh, lovely.
With that, would I have been able to look over the table as well?
Yeah, I'll roll that dirty 20 over. You can see that there is there are a couple of scrolls on the table, not in tubes, just out normal wrapped scrolls. It's tough to say what they are, like what the spells on them are from a distance, but they're clearly magical spell scrolls. And then there is also a what looks like a feather, but it is carved out of like ornate wood and seems to bear sort of like the likenesses of roots down where the feather's tip would be.
What have you got?
I would say that rolling that 20 over, you can't figure out what the scrolls are, but that looks like a Qual's feather token of trees. which means that when you use an action to touch an unoccupied space on the ground, the token disappears, it is consumable, and in its place, a non-magical oak tree springs into existence. The tree is a 60-foot tall, 5-foot diameter trunk, and its branches at the top spread out to a 20-foot radius. So you can just grow a tree wherever you'd like it, using that little feather token.
That's kind of cool. Yusdrayl, what do you know what are on those scrolls?
Of course I do. One is an abjurative barrier of protective magics. The other one duplicates the crawling and climbing abilities of your companion.
You see a little bit of confusion as she regards Saoirse in spider form.
And the other would allow you to open a door or suppress magical locks.
So from that, you assume that these are a spell scroll of mage armor, a spell scroll of spider climb, and a spell scroll of knock.
Ooh. Interesting.
Are you able to identify other magic items, Yusdrayl? You seem very powerful.
I could, if that is something that you wish.
Thank you. She kind of like goes, just like moves back away from it now. I'm done being close to you, and I'm going to drink this potion.
Yep. So
I just
you
need
use
to
one
fix
dose.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I need to fix the thing that's actively killing me. So you use one
So-
dose. You still have 2 doses left in that flask.
Okay.
And you are able to cure. You immediately feel like your side sort of like alleviate. It hasn't healed back. You're seeing like that black kind of retreat to the edges of the wound.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't, like, the flesh has not grown back and sealed over,
Yeah.
but the necrotizing has stopped.
Yep.
It's not getting any worse.
Stings. Still stings.
Good.
Alright.
Needs a healing,
See
right?
what happens when you are calm and able to process your surroundings in a slow, methodical way.
She says sort of pointedly towards Fia.
Yes,
Your anger was misplaced, I think.
I think
Whoa.
I was a little confused. My apologies.
The southern halls are the most sacred place of Ashardalon.
And you said we need to go north, though, right?
If you seek the presence of outsiders who previously passed through these halls, north is your best option.
Okay.
Do you
You
want
said we
one of the
could
spells?
take something else from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the tree?
Which one?
Tree feather. I like the
Tree
locked
seems
door
handy.
one. I want all of them,
Yeah.
guys.
I want all of them.
How about we take the locked door one for now, and we bring Yusdrayl back some stuff that we find because you asked that really clever question, and we take something else the next time.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
do you want to
Yeah,
check
I
that
agree.
bone scroll too?
We should probably give that to her. Yeah. Saoirse,
Yeah.
you still have that, right? Okay, cool. Yusdrayl, we found a thing.
I think you have found many things.
True, but specifically, my companion friend has something on her back.
You offer the little scroll. She takes it in her hands, unstoppers it, and just sort of looks in on the paper.
It is old. I cannot read it, but it is not magic. It is not the language of the dragons.
Okay, that's a clue.
Okay.
Alright, well, it's something.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Cool.
We'll take that.
Well,
The unlocking door one, please.
She sort of gestures, and the grumpy kobold to her right just sort of like rolls his eyes and goes back and grabs the scroll of knock. hands it over.
Thank you. And pop that away. Don't have to worry about it getting my necrosis on it now.
There are many goblins between you and your theoretical friends that you are hunting for. What are you going to do about that?
Do you have any suggestions?
The goblins were more aggressive as of recently. Taking the dragon was a bold maneuver that I would not have anticipated from them prior to their recent escalations. We do not want more of their space. The southern halls are ours. Perhaps peace could be had
A
if
parley?
we could understand each other.
Okay. We could probably work that out.
Set up a meeting or something.
Come to some sort of agreement, understanding. Do you have anything to offer them in return for peace? Or is it anything that you're looking for?
The assurance that we will not unleash Calcryx on them.
Okay.
Okay.
And what about you? Do you have something extra for us if we complete this for you?
If you could bring about peace in these halls, leaving us to our exploration of the mysteries of Ashardalon, I could offer you additional services. Potentially more of the devices we have already uncovered, or, should you wish, the key to explore the halls and see if you actually are mighty enough.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Does sound fun.
Whatever gets us out
We
of here
can do that.
fastest, I'm all for.
I don't really want to leave now, though. So many things to look at.
Yusdrayl sort of arches an eyebrow at Daja.
So quick to weave?
If you continue to address me, we're going to have a problem, so I think talking to my friend is going to be better for everybody. Thank you.
What have I done as a transgression on you?
I'm just not very good at diplomacy.
We all have our strengths.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is the keeper of many things and these great halls.
Indeed.
And she sort of smiles a toothy, draconic grin.
You are free to come and go as you please.
And she sort of does a little gesture, and the kobolds begin, like, slowly, very slowly by comparison to y'all, hauling Calcryx away back to the other room. And she also hands over a pair of iron keys that she just had, like, tucked up a sleeve to the other kobold that's near her. Not the well-armored one, just the other swobold in training.
When you are ready, I will provide you passage back north. Beware, the hallway behind that door is trapped, and you will need to go through the small catwalk down its middle.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. So, do you want to go now? Do you want to take a minute?
I could use a rest.
Yeah, but do you want to rest here?
No, I'm not here necessarily. Just in general, I'm feeling rather rough, and I think having just yes, I think a rest is a good idea.
I can rest now. See how I feel
Yeah.
in the morning.
Really good idea.
I think that's a good idea. Yes.
Have you got somewhere we could sleep, Yusdrayl, without
Without what?
getting bitten by rats?
There
Yeah.
are no rats in these halls.
Okay.
Yes. There is a space that if you would like to stay within our area, it is through the ladder. And she gestures towards this door that's immediately to the north of where y'all
Okay.
are.
Thank you.
Should we settle in?
Right.
I think it's a good idea.
We're gonna make a kobold open the door for us.
Yeah. One of the swobolds in training like steps north and opens the door,
Thank you.
and then like walks through and just sort of gestures further east through another door into what looks like an empty room. As you're walking through the what Yusdrayl designated as the larder, you see, where's the larder description? Boo 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 boo. Oh, I just had you. Don't go away. No. There it is. The odor of meat permeates this chamber. Most of the iron hooks in the ceiling are empty, but a few hold skinned carcasses of large vermin, huge fungoid stalks, and several massive insect carapaces. On a small bench along the southern wall are pieces of cutlery, skinning knives, and other sort of like leatherworking implements that you can see the kobolds use as kind of a mishmash of cooking, meat preparation, and also like tanning pre-work. But the room to the east of the larder is empty, and you are free to rest there.
And I fold back into Saoirse and investigate the fungal stock.
Yes.
To get like really up close to it.
What are you looking
What
for in
kind of
specific?
fungus it is.
Anything you're looking for specifically?
I just want to know if it tastes good and if I should keep it.
This is definitely a very edible strand of fungus. You could tell that this is like their food storeroom / prep room. So they are. This is a very good, long-lasting type of fungus. You would know it as specifically a fungus that grows in the Underdark. And looking west, there is another door. So you're guessing that maybe deeper in there might be an entrance to the Underdark, where they've been hunting for like these rats and bugs and gathering the fungus stalks for the purposes of having rations and food supply.
Underdark would be so fun. Can I take a little piece of the fungus?
Yeah.
And propagate it on myself?
Yes, absolutely.
I love it.
Terrifying.
Okay.
You are now edible.
I am now edible. Go run into the room, find a nice little place for this fungus. Just be like.
Daja, I assume you would be following along.
Yeah.
And as Saoirse shifts out of her spidery form, that little scroll comes clattering to the ground and rolls over, and as you're sort of stepping forward, just clinks under your foot. And that clink turns into the fall of a hammer. Then several falls of hammers. The sounds of a busy smithy are clattering around you. The walls of this room are no longer the walls of this room, and you see a very different space. There are large furnaces blazing hot. White embers fall across the floor. Several dwarves with gray skin and white beards and hair are all scurrying about, rapidly at work on something. You could see over in the corner there is this mishmash of metal. Some of it looks copper and brass and other bits sort of forged out of some sort of alloy, maybe electrum. And it's this spindly, almost cage, somewhere between a cage and a crown. It is this alien shape that is only slightly less alien looking than the creature standing next to it. A creature with large wings that look like panes of glass, like dragonfly wings mixed with a stained glass window. Its face is tall, its mouth vertically oriented with two lower mandibles that just sort of click-clack around. Above this lower mouth, there is a horizontal mouth and a rather humanoid-looking face, bald, with elven-looking ears, and looking beautiful, were it not for the strange way in which it's perched on this insectoid mouth below it. The body is several arms, and it's busy swirling about on a scroll with ink and quill. It sniffs the air, its mandibles clacking, and looks back at you.
Well, hey there. Boy, sure didn't expect to see. Wait, are you actually here? No, this is something rather mysterious. This is convergent coincidence, I think. A space arranged. But hey, it's good to see you, cousin or nephew. I can't remember. Family line's getting a little bit blurry.
Yes, one of those. Do you need something? What's happening here?
Oh man, extra pair of hands would be great around now.
How many?
This work is getting rather busy, and the foreman is expected soon.
All right. And what? I'm sorry. Just what exactly does that have to do with me?
Their mouth opens to answer, and you hear the clattering of a heavy door from the other side of the room, and you're looking across at this forge that is actually built with a small bridge in the middle of the room spanning what looks like an active river. It's dark were it not for the glow of the forges, and walking into the room, there is a heavy sound of footfalls mixed with metal as another gray-skinned dwarf, slightly larger, with a heavily mechanized arm and left leg, walk into the room. His beard is knotted and braided with heavy bars of what looked like onyx forged into beard adornments. He is bald and tattooed with blazing purple signals, insignia, and runes that span like a swirling mohawk down the middle and then braided and falling down the sides of his head. He's missing one ear, and there's this strange sense that his eyes just sort of flicker in and out. They're like black holes, not entirely there.
Vidipel, you said this work would be done faster. We have no time to waste.
I'm terribly sorry. The celestial being you know as your distant ancestor, Vidipel, sort of gets back to scrawling, two of the arms working hard on these schematics, and two of them sort of twiddling fingers and making placating gestures at the dwarf. I assure you I am working as fast as possible. Your engineers are bright, but need a little bit of tuning in their ideas.
You are a muse, not a leader. Make sure the ideas are sound. This needs to work the first time, or it's all for naught.
It will work, I promise. There's this sort of like weird phasing out as Vidipel looks back over their shoulder at you, like they're able to engage in this conversation with you apart from this space. None of the other figures in this room are recognizing you or acknowledging your existence. Sorry, I need to attend to this, but if you're ever near Kundraka, do stop by. I think we should have a chat. It's very interesting here. This project has fascinated me for some time, sort of combining enchantment and metallurgy. Something like this hasn't been made in several aeons. It is exciting.
And you're sure it's a good idea?
It's an idea, that's for sure. What's the worst that could happen?
A lot.
Ah. Make a perception check.
Ooh, that's a 6 and it's a 7.
7. You see this dwarven figure move over and start muttering something. And the only words you catch are, "We've located the central pillar. It better be ready. We need to move fast." And the walls melt away back into the meaty stink of a kobold larder. You are back in the Sunless Citadel. The bones scroll beneath your feet.
My hands are waving in front of her face. Are you
Well,
you
fuck.
alright?
Yes, I'm fine.
Are
It's
you
fine.
sure?
Yes. I'm just it's family stuff. It's just difficult. Everyone is fine. They're likely doing some things that will make the rest of the world not fine and are not happy to listen to anyone else. So it's fine. Ugh,
Would you get a
just make
letter
me
or
so
something?
tired.
It's fine.
Maybe.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about it now, so
Shall we? After we're done, we could check it out, so to speak.
if we have to, I mean,
If you would rather not, oh,
I
we can
don't
avoid
know.
it.
I would rather not, but I would also rather the world not end in hot cinders, so
Is that likely?
I don't
there's-
know. That sounds
we
exciting.
don't know. That's the problem. It's just chaos. No one knows. There's theories. They don't actually know what they're doing, and they believe that they do, and so they're going to do whatever they want and make it everybody else's problem. Sorry, I'm sorry. It's just, ugh, they're exhausting. It's all right.
Kind of-
We have to handle this now,
Mhm.
and we should do that first, and then if the world is still there when we're done, we can handle that later.
I cup Daya's face in my hands, which is really creepy because very spindly fingers and again no mouth, very probably a little triggering, but darling, we don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You are not here to fix your family's problems, and we can
That's
do
hilarious. Thank
us.
you. That's the best joke I've heard in quite a long time. I appreciate that, and I wish so desperately that it were true. Unfortunately, it's not, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. So we're going to do our best. That's.
Try me.
Are
I
you
can do
you're
a
willing?
lot.
I know, darling, and I appreciate that. And honestly, if we get out of here and we do have to go and deal with my family, I would very much appreciate your presence and help. Because
We've
this
got
is
you.
going to be a clusterfuck of the highest degree.
Big hug, big fungus hug.
Mm-hmm.
Big hug back, and you feel Daya's shoulders relax 2 inches, just ugh.
There.
It's going to be exhausting, but at least there's people to help, kind of thing.
It's going to be okay.
Thank you, darling. I really do appreciate that.
Now get some sleep.
Yes, you as well.
Got a big day tomorrow.
And many after.
Only big days.
Only big days. No small days in this household, apparently.
Small days are for losers.
I think that's like the first real laugh you've gotten out of Daja.
Yes.
Just like, all right. Well, that does make me feel slightly better. Yes, let's rest. Handle this first, and then we'll see what's happening when we get back to the surface.
Yes. For what it's worth, you seem very strong.
Thank you, Tara. Not without effort, but I appreciate that.
If you look over at any point,
Right.
Winnie is asleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go curl up around Winnie, like, because my body literally, like, wraps around Winnie, like, probably 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just fuzzy, like, ass. And
You're not a
weird
spider
branches.
anymore, just so you know.
No, I'm a satyr.
Okay.
Still fuzzy.
Oh yes, of course.
Still specifically fuzzy
Yeah,
ass.
fuzzy butt.
Still fuzzy.
Yeah,
butt.
fuzzy butt.
Still fuzzy butt.
My brain
Ass
just
as
automatically
descriptor
thought
for butt.
spider, and I was like,
Oh.
You all
Different kind of fuzzy.
cuddle
Furry,
up,
not fuzzy.
lay out your bedrolls, and settle in for a long rest. Reasonably secure in knowing that not only is Winnie no longer actively dying, but that you are safe in the enclave of the kobolds. As Daja dreams, they see cogs and gears and folding metal take shape into a massive face of resplendent light. Ideas given shape and form. The eureka moment given sentience. It is Nemu. And their voice booms into your mind. If the king of minds is crowned, gods will die. And that's leave it off until next week.
You said if
Give
the
any more
king-
information? That's rather vague and non-specific, and I would really know. All right. Okay.
Omens are not specific. You gotta read through the mists,
Oh.
my dude.
If the king of
We're having
minds
a
is
Not
a-
that long
conversation.
yet.
It doesn't have to be an omen.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Sorry that it has to be a little bit of a shorter episode this week, but we'll be back next week with a full episode at our normal time to see what happens next as we delve further into the Sunless Citadel. Thank you so much for joining us. Are you ready for more tales?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Bye,
yes.
everybody.
I'm
Stick
fucking
around
ready.
for raid.
Raid coming up!